Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Divorce Made Me Funny. I'm your host, Rheagan, and you guys, this is the very first episode of 2024. Like, insane that we're in the new year. New Year, same bitch. And I thought it would be a fun episode to talk about how to start the year off right. And I'm joined by a very special guest who, if you're watching, you can probably already see. I'm here with Katie Crippen, one of my besties. Say hello.
Hey besties, so excited to be here on the pod because divorce also made me funny.
We love it. And it was actually Katie's idea to talk about this on the pod because we're both going to try and do some different challenges and take on this new year in a different way than we have before. So we thought we would share it with the world, the like 20 people that actually listen to this. But obviously, before we get into it, I want Katie to give a little introduction about yourself, just so those who are watching don't know who you are. They can get a little bit of information. So, Katie, what's your elevator pitch?
Oh, I don't think I have an elevator pitch, but my name's Katie. I met Rheagan in college in our sorority. We are long distance besties. I live in Austin now, and I have roommates and a dog. I like to have fun in Austin. Like, what else do you want to know?
That's the gist.
Yeah,
A
not
little
really
bit.
anything exciting.
Yes, Katie and I have been friends for how many years now? 6? 2017? 2018?
Yeah, 6, I think.
6, that's crazy. And fun fact, Katie and I actually sat down about a month ago and recorded a podcast episode, and it will never see the light of day because we were babbling for over an hour. We did not provide any value. We just talked about ourselves. Took us 30 minutes, I think, to get through just the event of how we met. So we were like, let's not do that this time.
Yeah, it was a lot of drunk babbling.
It was also recorded at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was before I had 2 microphones.
We were like, dee, 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 dee.
And I don't even think the first episode was out yet. It was...
No, it was before. But you know what? I still listened to it, and I was like, this is good.
You're like, slay.
But then I was like, what is the point? Get to the point. Get to the point.
No, literally, there was no point. But it lives on our phones, and it will be in our hearts forever.
Always.
But we're moving on to the weekly bits real quick. So I know Katie's an avid listener because she tells me. But if you are not and you're like, what the hell is that? Weekly bits here are your bow days, your humbling experience, and your fave/rec. So your bow day is your favorite day of the week and why. Your humbling experience is self-explanatory, and then your fave/rec is something that you are loving at the moment and that you would recommend to others. It could be anything, person. I don't like saying it's a person. It could be if you wanted it to be, but like thing, book, movie, song, you name it. So, Katie, do you want to go first with the bow day, or do you want me to?
It's up to you, girl.
Oh, okay. I want you to go first.
Okay. So I think my bow day was this past weekend on Saturday. My mom took me to a little day spa. It was like so much fun. I've never gotten like a professional massage before. I've been scared.
It is scary.
Yeah, I was like so scared, but my mom for like our like Christmas or like my Christmas gift, she was like, I think we should like go to the day spa and just hang out there. So I got a massage, hung out, went to the saunas, the jet pools or like the spa pools,
Like
infrared lights. Yeah, there was like jacuzzi. It was like ginormous. It was like a crazy place, but my mom had been there before. It was a lot of fun. It was really relaxing. It was a little bit like odd, but
Oh yeah, it's weird when you think about people touching you like that.
yeah, like the massage wasn't odd, but like the place is odd, cause like there's separate areas where you could like go fully nude.
Oh.
And like go in the like spas like completely nude. I didn't do that, but
yeah.
you know, if you wanted to, you could go in the sauna naked, but
I mean,
yeah.
people do that. I mean, I worked at a massage establishment in my college days, and people will be like, is this a place where, and we're like, no, it's just massages. It's not crazy, but
Yeah.
that's fun though.
Yeah.
I want a massage.
It was a nice place. It was fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good bow day. You weren't wearing a bow, were you?
I was not wearing a bow.
Yes, metaphorical bow. You don't have to wear a bow to have a bow day, but it's just kind of. If you need the backstory, listen to the first episode. I think that's a good little plug in. I'm tired of explaining it. My bow day though was, I think it would be just a bow couple days. I just got a bow week,
Yeah.
like less than, but you get what I'm saying. I went home for the holidays. Fun fact, yesterday was Christmas. Merry Christmas. And I came back today, but I spent some time with family, got to see everybody, people I haven't, seen in a minute. And we did Christmas, got some good little gifts. One of them is what I'm wearing right now. I look like a giant teddy bear, but it's soft. Thank you. It's like, you can touch
it is. Is this Skims?
I have no idea.
It looks like Skims.
I don't think so, though. I feel like I would have recognized the tag because I don't recognize it.
Skims dope.
Skims dope. But just all around good vibes. It's cringy. But
Christmas.
I love Christmas time. And you would think, because I feel like, let me just talk about this real quick. When people have, or kids of divorced parents, they don't like the holidays. And I love the holidays. I don't have any issue with it. I don't mind going to multiple places. It's just life. I do understand it, but I just love the holiday season. And I'm sad that it's coming to an end. I felt like it went by really fast because I'm looking at my Christmas tree right now and I need to take that down. But yeah, it was a good little Christmas. So,
I love that.
Yeah. What about your humbling experience?
I do have a humbling experience. So for preface for the listeners, I live in a house with two other girls, and our house is in an older neighborhood, I would say. It's a redone house, but we just rent. Nobody bought that house.
Nobody owns, well, someone owns it.
Someone owns
but
it.
Not you guys.
Not us. Maybe one day. But yeah, so the other day it was actually when I was coming up here, I was loading my car after work, and I was smelling this gas smell outside, and I thought it was maybe the house next to us, because they tore it down and they have rebuilt this super modern California looking house, and they were digging in it the other day, and anyways, I thought that they had sprung a gas leak from them working on the house. And so we called the realtor on the the listing or whatever, the sign in the front yard, and we were hey, we think that this house might have a gas leak because it's so strong outside. And they're okay, yeah, we'll alert the builder and send somebody out. So we're waiting, and 2 hours pass and nobody has come by this house. And so
That's a long time for a gas leak scare.
Yeah, so I walk outside in our backyard, and the scent outside is so bad. It literally makes me it was making me lightheaded.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grab my roommate Emma, and I was do you smell this? And she's yeah, it's really bad outside. And I was what do we do? So we called 311, and they were call 911 right now. They're that's an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to call 911, and I talked to the 911 operator, and I was I think there's a gas leak. I don't know. I was is this an emergency? I don't know. I felt stupid calling 911 for it.
I've had to call 911 for a non-emergency, but they told us to do. Yeah, I get your feeling. I get it.
So the fire department comes out. They come a-blazing with sirens.
They
a-blazing isn't the right word to use.
They make an entrance, though.
They make an entrance. The neighborhood, I'm sure everybody was what the hell is going on? But the fire department does a lap around the house next to us, and they're they don't have gas yet. It's not this house. So then they do a lap around our house, and they're we're not we're sitting in the backyard with the lieutenant, I don't know, it was the head guy, whatever.
The main guy.
And he was literally a quote from the fireman. He said, "You're not crazy." So next time someone tries me, I'm
the fireman
told me I wasn't crazy, because he was just explaining to us older neighborhoods sometimes leak gas, and it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we're standing out here with him, and he's explaining how sometimes this can happen, whatever. And then
It's okay.
I thought I was about to cough. But he was like standing there, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I smell it. So it turns out it was our house. So that was pretty humbling because I was like dead set on it being this new house. I was like, oh my God, they can't even send somebody out, whatever. But it was our house.
So you had a gas leak.
We had the gas leak, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it wasn't inside, so it was outside, which I don't know. Somebody came by and fixed it after that, but I was like, what?
That's math I don't understand.
Yeah.
But glad you got it fixed.
I would never own a house. Like, living in a house, I've realized, like, I don't want to own one.
No, I have a coworker who lives in an apartment, and he owned a house and moved back to an apartment. He was like, I can't do it. He was like, living in an apartment, I call the maintenance man when I've got a, plumbing issue or anything and not accountable for. I don't have to wait on somebody, like all that. So, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know if I'd probably want to own a house, but maybe in the distant future.
Yeah, I think I would own a house if I knew I could afford every repair and random thing that can happen. Like, we had rats in our attic. So, like, you never know what can happen when you have a house.
Oh,
so,
you had
anyway,
the rats.
Humbling moment for me because I blamed it on the person next door, and it was, in fact, us.
That's crazy. Good humbling moment, though, when you realize that it's you.
Yeah.
Glad you were able to recognize that.
And we got it fixed. Everyone's fine.
Yay.
Ding.
My humbling experience this week it was more just like mild embarrassment than anything like crazy humbling, but on Christmas Eve, on the 23rd, my mom, my brother, and I were going to go to this, oh my gosh, not like a cookie decorating class, but it was at Haley Cakes. Mm-hmm. It was right by your old apartment. And we made like a Santa out of icing and then like on a dessert tray kind of thing. It was just something we did instead of baking cookies this year. And we were meeting her and her man Doug at Matt's El Rancho. Her fiance. At Matt's El Rancho. And when I texted her that I was here, and she was like, okay, we're immediately to the left. And I was like, okay, go to the left. And there was this couple there who the guy had a camo hat. The girl had blonde hair like my mom. And I don't even look up. I literally, like, I'm on my phone and I pull the chair out, and I noticed that the chair I pulled out, this, who I thought was my mom at the time, this lady's purse was like on it, and it was like the same exact purse that my mom carries as well. And I like, and I'm like, hey, and I set my phone down and I noticed that she's not moving the purse. And then I look up and it's two strangers. I'm not kidding you. And they were like, hi. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I am so sorry. I thought y'all were someone else. And I'm like looking around frantic. I'm like, I don't see where they're at. I find them. The guy and Doug are both wearing camo hats. Stop. So like they looked like identical. And I was like, hello. And it was just like embarrassing because I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe I did that. Because they were just like so confused. And they also seemed like they weren't really having it.
That's the worst, is like when you mess up and like a stranger like doesn't get the joke.
No, you know? I'm like, oh my,
be funny.
Right. Like it's not that serious. Like, sorry, I almost sat at your table. Like I'm not trying to steal anything. I sit down, and then Reese, my brother, he dropped me off, and then he like came in, a little after me, and he did the same exact thing. He didn't sit down, but he started walking towards them, and he like looked up and was like, oh, and we're like, Reese, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So it was just embarrassing because it was just like, oh my God, y'all, I'm so sorry. Like maybe pay attention, Rheagan.
Yeah. Because when your phone,
look up, see the world. That's something I'm going to work on this year, so it's fine.
Add that to the resolution
literally. But that was definitely my humbling experience. Just mild though.
That's funny.
It is. It was funny. We were giggling about it like all throughout lunch, and I was like, I can't believe I did that. But yeah, and now your fave / rec. You have a good one since you told me before.
Oh yeah. So when we were discussing like this topic of how to start the year off right, I thought about this book that I recently read. I'm big on like the self-help genre. I love a good like health and or not really like a health and wellness book, but like one that'll like the ones that are like let me change your life in like
Oh, the
20
ones that are
days.
beneficial for sure.
Yeah, so I'm a big nonfiction reader, and Spotify just released this update where you can do audiobooks. So I love to listen to books like throughout my workday. But my recommendation is a book called Atomic Habits, which I feel like a lot of people have read, and it's where I got the inspiration to like kind of reflect on the year, because there's like a segment where he like talks about you do like an annual review every year, and what better like day to review than the new year or New Year's Eve, I guess. I don't know.
End of the year.
End of year.
Beginning of the year. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, then I'll have to get that, or I'll have to listen to that book, because I am now, ever since Spotify updated that thing, I am now an audiobook girl. I used to be really against it, and I have, it's a funny story for another time, but listened to an audiobook for the first time, and like I retained all the information. I knew what happened, and I was like, oh, it's like listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
It's not like as weird as I thought it would be, because I am real big on like, holding the book and reading it, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think I still prefer the actual book, but I also like, because okay, Katie says she's a big nonfiction girl. I'm not. I I read a lot of like romance books, fan fiction, if you will. Like, it's just that genre where it's
Wattpad.
Oh yeah. And it's nice to hear it in like an actual person's voice instead of your own. Like, because like the voice in your head.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Although the book that I listened to was you know what? I'm going to tell the story real quick. It was a fan fiction type book, but it had both POVs, like the guy and the girl.
Oh, then they switched like to a woman narrator and a man.
Yeah.
I like that.
But when, okay, let's say it's the guy's POV chapter, and like when it was like a dialogue from the girl, it wasn't the girl narrator. It was the guy doing like, huh, type voice. And I was like,
oh, that's weird.
I didn't like that. And the same thing for the girl, like when it was the girl's POV and the girl narrator was reading it, she would do like this weird, deep, like, voice like for the guy's dialogue. Voice. And I was like, why don't y'all just like read the... I thought it was really weird, and I didn't like it because also, fun fact, it had, it was like basically smut, and I didn't realize it until I was listening at work. Sorry if my coworkers are listening to this. I was listening to it at work, and they said some words that just shouldn't be heard in daylight.
A little like intense, and you're like, oh.
And I was like, I literally had to turn it off. I was like, I can't listen to this at work because I know they don't know I'm listening, but I know, and I just feel weird. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not a vibe. So tread lightly. I didn't know it was going to be that. I thought it was just going to be a cute little romance about a hockey player and a little figure skater. No, 90% of it was fucking like sex. I was like, oh my God. And it's different when you have to listen to it. Like, but I will say I listened to it, but
yeah,
that was my only ish. Okay. Anyway, let me segue back. My fave / rec. I was going to do a self-help book because I was like, let me be like Katie, but mine's going to be a little different. It's going to be the 5-minute a day journal. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. I've seen that on TikTok, I think.
I got it last year for Christmas, and I'm more than halfway through because I've tried to do it every day, but let's acknowledge that I don't. Like, sometimes I'll go months without doing it. I'm like, crap. But it's just a journal that it already has prompts, and it's the same prompts every day. So it's like, what are you grateful for? Like, what are 3 things you're grateful for? And then it's like, what 3 things could happen today that would make a great day? And then it would be like your positive affirmation that you would write down. And then at the end of the day, when you're going to sleep, you say like 3 things that happened that were good that day, whether it's the same as what you wrote or not, and then what you learned that day. And I just think it's as someone who like doesn't really journal, I used to, but I used to only do it when I was like sad and like needed to get my feelings out on like paper. I don't ever write about when I'm happy, which is sad, I feel like, because I look back on that journal because I still have it, and I think we were talking about it a while ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I was like, look at sad little 18-year-old Rheagan. Like, let's think about the happy times. Even though, let's be honest, I wasn't like that sad. It was probably because my crush didn't like me. But I know, but still. So it's really helpful in that aspect. And you date it so you know what day it was. And I was actually looking back on it this year, and the things that I would hope happened that day are kind of absurd, but
I don't even want to know.
You don't want to know. I'm like, why did I write that? And it didn't happen, and I would still be like grateful for this.
I like that though. I think it's important to like maybe like if you're a journaling type of person.
Oh, then stick to the journaling.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I recommend it.
If you're not and you like, it's like a form of like mindfulness. So like practicing like gratitude throughout your day and like setting up your like positive intentions for the day, I think is really helpful. Because if you go into the day like, oh, I hate this job and I hate everybody at work and I'm gonna have the worst day of my life, like you're gonna have a shitty day.
Yeah.
Like, so I think if you like set the tone and like the what's gonna happen today, I like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe
And that
someone will buy your coffee at the Starbucks line.
Oh, you never know. Remember
never
that one
know.
week in college when everybody was buying my coffee?
Yeah.
So like you just got to be positive and have that mindset. But I think it segues right into the topic of the whole entire episode, which is how we are starting the year off right. And let me look at my handy dandy notes. Sorry, I am losing my train of thought. We want to first reflect on 2023. Katie, can you actually talk about these questions since it came from the book that she read?
So back to my rec of Atomic Habits by James Clear. He does an annual review and he talks about just kind of how it's important to reflect on like the past year and the questions that he asks, just kind of to get the conversation, like get the thoughts flowing about the year that you've had and how you want to set yourself up for the new year. So there is what went well this year, what didn't go well this year, what am I working toward?
And we're going to answer those questions. Now, we don't have to get too personal because, you know, not everyone deserves to know our dirty laundry. And we can also keep it brief so we make sure we touch on all these points without talking your ear off forever, because we do have the tendency to do that. But we're making good time since we can see it on the TV and here. So, what went well this year? I think I'll go first. This year in particular, I also talked about it a little bit in my previous episode, 23 Things I Learned in 2023. So these kind of go hand in hand, more like a part 2 to that episode, if you will. But I made it a point this year to be, like you said, very intentional with the day and having that positive mindset, because the year prior, I fell into a victim mentality for too long. Not saying that my feelings were invalid, because they were valid, but I let myself soak in that a little too long. So I was like, okay, starting the new year, I'm going to, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, whatever, like who cares what happened in the past? I'm going to focus on like the future. And I think I did a really good job at that. This year was pretty good, all things considering. I wouldn't say best year of my life, not worse, not like, but great things happened. I learned a lot about myself. I had new experiences that I haven't had before. So I think I did a really good job at that positive mentality. So that's what went well for me.
I like that. I think for me, what went well, I'm like, there's so much things that happened this year. What was the good part? I would say mine kind of is like on the same page as yours as far as like the positive mindset. I think that I was like thrown in a lot of different situations this year, whether that was personal or professional. Like I had some weird struggles at work, and just trying to like keep that positive like mindset, I think is like why I still have a job, and like why my work situation like actually like got a lot better at the end of the year, or I guess this past quarter. And then I'd say just like overall like resilience and like how I handled situations. I don't know if it's like my frontal lobe developing fully.
Could
But
be
like
that.
I
We're
used
approaching
to,
on that age.
yeah, but like it's crazy because like some things that has like gone on this year, like if that happened like 2 years ago, it would have been the end of the world. Like I would
Oh.
have like literally like probably checked myself into the grippy sock, like you know. But like now I can like actually handle situations and like you know, you have a situation happen, you can decide how you react to it, then you can move on from it. So
I think I've learned that a lot just in post grad in general. Like just that sense of like, okay, you're an adult now. Like you're a baby adult, but you're an adult.
well, that's another thing is like no matter what happens in your life, like rent is still due on the 1st. Like you gotta figure it out because you're gonna like
It's coming out whether
Yeah.
you want it to or not. You
Yeah.
signed that contract, baby. You signed that lease. But with anything though, like shit's gonna happen,
Yeah.
and it's up to you to, do it right.
Yeah, that's like a big lesson I think I've learned is just you can't control a lot of things that happen to you, but what you can control is how you react to situations.
Period. With that being said, what didn't go so well this year? I'm trying to think of how to word mine without it being like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can go.
You go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, like I mentioned, I had some like troubles at work and in like personal life. So I think like what didn't go well is although like I did react positively and like I did work through them, I think it took kind of like a longer time to work through some things. And also, I don't think I had like the healthiest coping mechanisms for those things that like happened this year. So I think like being able to recognize that now and look back and be like, maybe I could have done XYZ instead of what I did is like an interesting thought. I don't know. I think it's hard to like look back at like the not so good parts of the year because it's like you want to move on from that.
Right.
So like this question is interesting because like what didn't go well this year, like a lot of things, but does that matter in the long
Like,
run?
did it actually break the year?
No.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it matters more maybe how you react to the things that don't go well.
Yeah, I think that's good. Cause okay, I think I have a good way to word mine now. I think, and I was telling you this earlier before the episode started, before we started recording. I think even though I said that I was intentional with the way I wanted my day to go and how I wanted my year to go, I don't think I was intentional with things I was doing with other people. And I think I went with the flow too hard because I, just didn't want to, whatever. I don't know. Like,
I think you talking about that is giving me an idea. It's like the overall theme of like setting boundaries, maybe.
Right. Like, and I didn't want to freak anyone out or do anything weird. But then at the end of the day, I ended up getting burned, if we will. Not really. And this has also happened with it's not just this one situation I'm talking about. It's kind of with like people in general. When I'm with other people, friends, family, whoever, I'm very like people pleaser. Yes, I'll do that. Oh, sure. That sounds like fun. I never purposefully will give my intake or input. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to that, I don't think I did that well this year. Because I think I can be more intentional with other people, even though I mastered, I think, intention with myself. It's intention with other people that I need to work on.
But I think that makes a good point too, is like whenever you are like going through something or like if you're not in the best place mentally or whatever, like this might be controversial to say, but I'm gonna say it, is like you get really selfish. And like, because at the end of the day, like you need to fix what's going on in your world before you can like go out and like kind of make those connections with like other people.
Well, it's like you have to love yourself before you love others.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Yeah.
But what was the next one?
What am I working toward?
What am I working toward?
I think I'll start this one.
Okay.
A big theme in the book that really has stuck with me, and like I've been telling everybody about it, is the concept of being 1% better in the book Atomic Habits. My rec.
That's also the theme of the episode.
I guess so.
All
Just,
around
like,
this book.
Turn off this episode and go read that book, honestly.
Finish this episode and then read the book.
Sorry,
we need the view.
But yeah, that book, they talk about getting 1% better, and I think that is so attainable because you can make a choice to be 1% better than you were yesterday. And for example, like, I don't know, if you talk to somebody new at work, if you make your bed, if you go on a walk, if you know, those are little things that you can do throughout your day that will make you 1% better.
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot.
Because, like, we're both so young, like, we don't know, like, what really I don't think we're working toward. I mean, like,
I know that I'm working toward, like, feeling confident in who I am as a human being, because I think there are some aspects in my life where I might be confident in myself, but maybe not in other areas.
mm-hmm.
So I know that's what I'm working for, or, like, you know,
like, overall
getting
happiness.
married and, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not exactly what's on the mind right now.
Yeah. And I think, like, those, like, big goals sometimes can seem so far away from us that I think that's another reason why people not cancel, but, like, why they quit their resolutions so fast is because it's like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds in a year. And then they start going to the gym, they eat healthy, and they're not seeing that number, like, come off the scale. And so they're like whatever, fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, if you focus on what you can change in your day-to-day routine,
mm-hmm.
instead of, like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, it's like, well, what can I do today to help me reach that goal?
Right.
So I think, like, kind of setting, like, smaller, or, like, reducing everything down into, you know, those small moments that you can change, like making your bed, you know?
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the full focus planner. Do you know what that is?
No.
We use it for work, and we get it every quarter, so it's just a quarter planner. And at the beginning of it, there's a lot of different, like, features that it has, and it's a great, like, organization tool. I love it. But you list your big 3 for the quarter, like what you want to accomplish in the quarter. And then every week you write down your big 3 for the week that will help you achieve the goal in the quarter.
I like that.
And then every day you have your big 3 that will help you accomplish the weekly tasks that help you accomplish the quarterly tasks. Now, it doesn't have to be, like, I use mine for work,
Yeah.
but I can see it as a personal one as well. And I can't remember I should know this, who does it, like, who it's by, because it's by someone who I read a self-help book about in my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe I'll link it in the Instagram. I'll also link Katie's book. So there's a little plug. Follow the Instagram. But I find that a great tool, and breaking down the task, because it can seem so big and so unattainable, when in reality, okay, take a deep breath, write out the steps, what can you do today?
Yeah.
And then go from there.
And, like, in Atomic Habits too, they make a point of, like, talking about you reduce down the activity that you want to, like, the first 2 minutes. So it's like, if you want to be a runner if you want to be a runner, for example, like, that's the identity that you want to have. Like, what does a runner do? You know, they wake up and they put on their running shoes. Like, if you just put on your running shoes, you're getting there. So
you're one step closer to being a runner.
You're one step closer. So, like, I would just look at, like, small goals that you can do throughout the day to help you reach your larger goals.
Right. Without losing sight of the larger ones.
Yeah. Keep them in mind, but don't get too hung up on, like, numbers and timelines.
Right. Because I think, like you said, that, you know, becomes overwhelming, which, you know, stops people, like, or that's not grammar, which makes people stop their resolution or their goal. But breaking it down always helps. Really
For
does.
sure.
Do you have any resolutions this year, Katie?
I'm not sure if I have any, like, strict resolutions. I think that through reading that book, there's, like, a few habits that I want to implement in my life, like having, like, a stronger morning and night routine, because right now I log into work at 8:30, so, like, I'll wake up at, like, 8, you know? So it's like I need to take time to, you know, work out or do the things that I like to do in the morning and have the mornings to myself. But Yeah, I wouldn't say I have any like strict resolutions this year.
Yeah, I haven't. If I'm being completely honest, I haven't sat down and because usually I'll write out a few.
I made like a joking list of like
Yeah, and I
stop
have
blacking out, but like
don't drink too much, like that kind of thing. I get that, but like the heart, like the defined, like this is what I want. I haven't done as well.
I guess maybe like travel more. I want to get a passport. I don't have a
You
passport,
get
so I need
well
a passport.
in order to be a person who travels, Katie, you need to get your passport.
Exactly. That's like a small step I can take to become a person who travels.
Exactly. See, we're just using the book. We're
I know.
implementing it. I don't think I have any either, though. I think there like are habits, like you said, that you want to implement. Like I really want to drink more water. Like I feel like I drink a lot of water, and then when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I drink half of this at work, and I'm like, that's not even a full thing.
Yeah.
And to talk about drinking water, Katie and I are actually going to be doing the 75 hard challenge starting in the new year.
I've always wanted to do this challenge.
You've been saying it for a while.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what the challenge is, it's basically, and you can chime in at any point if I'm forgetting anything, it's 75 days of you pick a diet that you want to do. It doesn't matter which one. It's just like sticking to one. You work out twice a day.
You work out twice a day, two 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside, which
I mean, if it's raining,
I have a patio with like a covered thing, so I was like, I could do yoga outside, you know?
I mean, I have a patio, but we'll see.
You could open the door, I guess. I was like, why does it have to be outside?
I'm like,
but that's part of the challenge. I think it's more like it's a fitness challenge, but I think it's also like a mental challenge too.
Oh yeah, because like 75 days is a long time. You also can't drink. There's no drinking. There's also no cheat meals. And then
a gallon of water a day.
And then did it say 10 pages of a self-help book?
Yeah.
But you have to read it. You can't listen to it. And I think that's all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
And we were just talking about it a couple weeks ago when we decided, we're like, we should talk about it on the pod. Because I think saying it on the internet will definitely hold you accountable. Because I told Katie that we'll do a 75-day check-in.
It's going to be real embarrassing on day 75.
When we're like,
we quit on day 3, on day 4.
It was just too hard. I had to drink at trivia.
I got invited to go to Buford.
But I think as excited as I am to actually do a challenge like this, because usually and I've talked about it. I think I talked about it in my self-care episode, and I definitely talked about it in the last episode. I've been like an active human being. I watch my diet as best as I can, but I never beat myself up over it. And I'm like, think my metabolism has changed a lot this year. So
That's
I'm
just
like
with getting older.
Yeah. So I'm just like really excited to like see if it has that change.
Yeah.
Whether if I feel it internally, because it's not really a vanity thing. I mean, yes, everybody wants to lose
and you
weight.
have to take a progress picture every day, I think. But I think I
might do it every couple days.
Yeah, because I don't like nothing's gonna change over day.
Yeah, like day
you'll
one.
You'll only be able to see like really a difference from like day 1 to like day 15 to like day 30. To day 1, you know?
I think it'd be like day 1, day 10, day 20, and then 30.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what we do. But if you have done it, let us know, because my mom's very like active and does all the things, and we did the 1-3-1 method this summer. I think it was the summer. And I only did the first stage. I gave up after the second. It makes you drink bone broth, and I wasn't about it.
I love bone broth.
I do not. So you should do the 1-3-1 method if you want, but that shit was nasty. I would take it into work, and they were like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Bone broth."
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's easy to like do kind of these like challenges or get in that health and fitness mindset, and then get a little toxic about it. Because I have like a worm in my brain that like tells me not to eat. But for this one, like I think like I'm not gonna track my calories or anything
No,
because like
that's-
that
I
is
think
like when
that's
it gets toxic. And then for the 2 like 45-minute workouts a day, like it doesn't have to be like hit morning and night, you know, like
Yeah.
you could do like a morning stroll.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I was like, I think
Like
I'll probably
walk Finn, you know,
Yeah.
my dog.
I'll just walk.
Yeah.
Because Bella can't walk and Bella's not here. She's still
She's
alive.
she's in San Marcos. She's still with us.
She's still with us, but she's 14 and deaf and blind, so walking her isn't the best.
And also something that, again, to shout out the book Atomic Habits, you can habit stack. So like when you like go on your morning walk, like you could listen to a podcast or like listen to an audiobook or something.
Yeah, and just benefit your life. Like
Like
ones
you're
that benefit
doing-
your life.
That's like 2 things that could like make your day 100%
And
better.
The funny thing is too is that up until like this point, not that I would be like hardcore judgmental, but when people would tell me they would like do that stuff like this, I would be like, y'all are weird. Like just live life. Like who cares? But now I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I'll, not be bloated every time I eat if I change my diet, or feel like just better, because I think I've also felt really weak recently, just like in the sense of like I don't want to leave my bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think because like I've said before, I think the hardest thing about like working out or being active is actually like doing it. Once you're doing it, it's easy. Like if you want to go to the gym, the hardest part about going to the gym is getting there, because once you're there and you're gonna do it.
Yeah, and like you could even go on the gym and walk on the treadmill for 45 minutes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like you don't have to go lift weights. Like I'm a member of a gym and we've been like my roommates and I go and we've been trying to go a little bit more, and recently like me and my one roommate went and I just walked on the treadmill because I was like, at least I'm here, you know?
Oh yeah, at least you're doing something.
Yeah.
Because I used to be real self-conscious about like the way I worked out.
Yeah, because it's like if you don't know what you're doing.
I didn't want I do not want people coming up to me being like, you're doing it wrong, because
the gym bros too. There's
Yep.
like they're like pumping the iron, moaning and groaning in the corner, and you're
No.
like, please stop.
but you can put on a 45-minute workout on YouTube. They're free.
Yeah.
And you do it in your room in the privacy of your own home,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just minding your business. Like there are ways to do it, because I think I used to make those excuses where I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a member at a gym, or I don't have this. And my mom would be like, work out in your room. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I guess I could do that. It's raining. Work out in your room.
Yeah.
Go to your apartment gym downstairs. That is a 2-minute walk. Like what? I don't want to hear it. So I think also what this challenge will help is the stopping of the excuses. Like
yeah, because
know.
it's like if you
want to
like
do it, you'll do it.
Yeah, you have to complete the challenge. You've got to do it. If you like mess up a day, they say you need to go completely back
Like
to the
start
beginning. Yeah.
Day one. I have one cheat day that I have in mind, but it's because it's my dad's birthday, and
We gotta
Yeah,
let that slide.
we gotta let that
for
slide.
Troy.
But I'll just add another day to the
Mhm.
end. So I think it's around like March 20th. I think will probably be our 75-day check-in.
Yeah,
So I'll mark that on the calendar.
we'll see you then. Maybe we'll be glowing, healthy.
Oh, y'all be like, who are these girls?
Radiant girls.
New year, new us.
New year, new me.
No. I also have us talking about the ins and outs of 2024.
Yeah, we should talk about that because I feel like there's some things that should be out.
Oh yeah. Should we talk about outs or ins first? I think we should end on a positive
I think
note.
so too, yeah.
This is going to be controversial.
Okay. Do you think I'll agree with you?
I don't know. Because I also said it at the beginning of this episode. I think out is the overuse of the word slay.
I agree with that.
I know I say it a lot.
I do
My
say it
my
too
whole
much.
family is probably, if they're listening, they're rejoicing right now. They're like, shut the fuck up, Rheagan. We get it. Like, you slay. And I say it at work. I say it when I don't know what to text someone back. Slay. And I'm like, okay. I was really thinking, because when I was driving back and I was like, okay, what are my ins and outs? I was like, I need to stop using it. It's getting a little too much. Like, it is a
I agree.
phrase that's like 2 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And as fun as she is, and it will be hard, it's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really going to try and cut out the use of slay?
You know, I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was thinking kind of like on the same lines of like that. Like, I feel like ever since I graduated college, my vocabulary has just like I feel like you listen to me talk, and you're like, that girl does not have any brain cells. So I think like using the word slay probably doesn't help my case.
Oh yeah, no, because I'm like, all right, let's slay the day, and everyone who's like over like 40 are like, can you use any other word?
Yeah, literally.
Or even my like my cousin Cooper, he's 18, and he's like, shut the fuck up.
Maybe the overarching theme is like TikTok vernacular is out.
Okay, I like that.
Because like I was also thinking about my outs.
Slays out, swag is in.
Swag. But another one that like really bugs me, and I think it's from TikTok, is love that for you. I think that is so condescending. I
love that.
Hate when people say that.
I don't think I say that ever. I know Emma, Luke, and I, and Allison, I don't know if you've heard us say it. We always are like, this is too good. It's from some TikTok, and we say it all, like literally we'll be talking about like the breadsticks at Olive Garden, and Luke will just be like, too good. And I'm like
that.
Oh, it's so fun. I'm saying that needs to stay in because
yeah.
not out. You just said TikTok vernacular, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you got it from TikTok. So all of that exclude too good, because
too good.
It's too good. It'll probably be out in a few months, but for now,
I know
she's
I say
in.
that, but then next week I'll be like, slay her.
I know. That's why it's like, okay, it's gonna be something that you quit slowly.
Yeah, like we're slowly gonna fade out.
Because you can't just stop. People would question your sanity.
Oh, that's like
my whole
half my personality.
Oh yeah, my coworkers would be like, you haven't said slay in a while, and I'd be like, oh, my bad. Slay. What else is out?
Vaping.
Yep, I agree.
Get it out of here. I don't want to smell Fruit Loops at the bar.
Please don't offer it to me though if I've had a sip of alcohol, or if I say, let me hit it. Don't let me hit it. Don't let me.
Yeah,
because I agree. Out.
Being mean to me is out.
Playing me is out.
I think like trying to live up to the expectations that others have for you is out.
Oh yeah, live for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other outs.
Complaining about work is out.
Flat bills are out, and flat bills have been out forever. But I hate a man or woman or any person you identify as in a flat bill. You look fucking stupid.
Are those the ones that are like this?
Yes, like the straight flat bill hat. Do you remember when we went to 77 once, and on the door it had their attire, like their dress code, and it was like no flat bills, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh,
and the bar or the bouncer was like, yeah, like those suck. I'm like, yeah, they do. They're ugly. Like they're my biggest fear.
I like that. Oh, I have a controversial one.
Okay.
Ripped jeans. Yeah, I think they're out.
Okay.
For me personally.
I'm like, I love my.
I do.
Like,
I have my Abercrombie like knee high, like the knee slit ones, and I love them. But like, I put them on the other day, and I was like, why do I have holes in my jeans? You know.
I think that's a sign of maturity and getting older. Maybe like, I would maybe say like the fully ripped jeans on people like our age, where they're just like literally just a bunch of holes, but maybe the occasional one or two. Not saying that it can't be out for you personally.
No, I would never shit on somebody for what they wear.
Okay.
This is just for me personally.
Me, flat bills. Me just talking massive shit. Yeah, Katie's like, wear what you want.
Yeah,
be confident.
wear what you want for sure. I don't care. But yeah, for me personally, I just think ripped jeans are out for me.
Ooh, I have an out. Actually, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I don't want to say it. I think I get canceled.
Soda is out.
Soda's no. Calling shotgun is out.
What? That's stupid.
All right. Well, I'm doing it for myself because I'm annoying, and I go like the second the car's inside, I'm like shotgun. So more for myself.
Dating apps are out.
Dating apps are out.
They've been out.
They don't slay.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm getting canceled by myself. Four Locos are out.
They've been out.
I know, but like we were talking.
They were in for me
I was
for a
like, you
minute.
were drinking them this summer.
Well, this summer, yeah. This summer is out.
Low rise anything out.
I don't think I agree.
Oh, really? I'm a high-waisted all the way.
I think low rise is going to make a comeback.
Then I will not be trendy anymore.
I mean, my love handles disagree completely.
Oh, yeah. My, like, fupa would be like... would be like, put it back in.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's go to our ins. What's in for 2024?
Audiobooks.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Audiobooks are in.
Audiobooks. Podcasts.
The
The Divorce Made Me Funny
divorce
podcast.
specifically.
I also really like Jay Shetty's and like the other ones that are popular.
I like Plan Brie. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is she canceled?
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Oh, I think she's funny.
Good.
It's okay. Sorry. I'm like, wait, is she canceled? I'm just
no,
not aware
I
of
don't think
it.
that she's canceled. I just am not a fan of.
What's it called? Probably a podcast. Shannon Ford.
I don't think
Ford. I don't even know if that's her last name.
I listen to like all the self-help ones.
I don't.
You should
Probably
start with Jay Shetty's. His is
Okay.
really good. He has like celebrity ones on there too, but like Charlie D'Amelio was on it, and like what does she know about life?
Yeah,
Well, I shouldn't say that.
The Lautners have a really good podcast.
Yeah, it's
the
like
Squeeze.
all about mental. You mentioned that in your.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it a few times, and I'm
Yeah.
like, am I shouting out Taylor Lautner? I love Taylor Lautner.
I can't believe he married a woman named Taylor.
I know, and she's our age.
Yeah.
Out. I'm just kidding.
Okay, what else is in for 2024?
And I say bows, but everybody has been hopping on the bow train recently. And I'm not saying that I'm a trendsetter because I do have like 60 followers on Instagram, but I have been wearing bows since 2021.
Yeah, I have noticed the bows are making a return.
Like people are putting it on their Christmas tree.
Yeah,
and I was like,
someone equated it to the millennial mustache. You remember when that was a thing and people would like.
That's awful.
I know, they were like, I hope bows, but I think bows are like cute. Mustaches were like quirky and funny.
Yeah.
But like bows are cute. They're timeless.
Ends.
I think ends being home by midnight, like Cinderella.
I was gonna say that, like not going to the bar, not shutting the bars down.
Yeah, I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah. And it's also like when you see, like, because now that like we're approaching on 25 this year, scary. But like, do you remember when we were 21 and like even though 25 is a 4-year age difference, but still you were just like, why are you old and why are you here? Like, am I the only one who thought that?
Yeah, like, yeah, I would say so. Like, there are like bars in Austin, for example. Like, I don't really like to go to West 6th anymore because I feel like it's mostly like the college age kids.
Right. It's finding Emma and I were talking about this. Like, it's finding the dive bars that you're out of there by midnight.
Yeah.
So I agree. And taking your vitamins.
Okay, I like that. Mushrooms. Lion's mane.
Like the vegetable?
Yeah, like there's like
Just making sure you weren't talking about shrooms.
no, but it is like they grind up like mushroom. It's like it's not shrooms. But
Oh, it's like a vitamin.
yeah, like there's like mushroom like coffee that you can like drink and
Oh yes, I
different
know.
supplements.
I know
like
what you're
that.
talking about. Okay.
Vitamins and supplements are so in.
Oh yeah, getting a full 8 hours
Oh my
of
god,
sleep.
my sleep routine is sacred to me. That's why I hate when people do the notify anyway.
Don't notify me, bitch. There's a reason. I mean, I have my notifications off all the time, but like, do not hit that.
If you see Katie Griffin's phone is silenced, notify anyway, don't do it.
No, unless it's an emergency. I have the people, like, it's usually family and then probably Allison, that will come through if I am on Do Not Disturb. But other than that, I'm like, no.
Yeah. And hobbies.
Yeah,
Like finding a hobby.
I need some hobbies.
I need to find a hobby.
Ooh, I talked about this in my the last episode. Having like weekday events.
Fun on weekdays.
Fun on the weekdays.
Shout out to Jenna Pallet.
I know. But like for real, I used to be someone who lived for the weekend.
Oh, I love that y'all do trivia now.
Mhm.
Like I used to
We
love
got-
doing trivia.
Yeah, we got that from you. I was like,
Mhm.
we need to do a trivia night. Like
We
they do
haven't
it.
gone in a while.
Yeah, we go to trivia and we're like, I think there was one Thursday where none of us could go,
Mhm.
but we're all pretty like, even if one person can't make it, the other will. And then I do movie night with Caroline, and then we've got this is a weekend, but like Super Sunday, like doing shit like that is so much fun, and it just gives
it doesn't
you
have to cost money.
no. You can play trivia where we play for free.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna buy drinks at the bar to support the bar, but like to play trivia, it's completely free, and I think it's just like a great way to like get out there on the weekdays, because I know that I sometimes when I get home from work, I'm like, I have what, 4 hours until I can or 4 hours to myself before I need to go to bed. Like I want that time and to be alone, which is totally valid as well, but it's also lonely. And then when you're just like, okay, yay, it's Friday, boom, it's Sunday night. So like living for the weekend is out.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think like joining like kind of going back to hobbies and like things that you can do during the week, like if you are like trying to become like a runner, you could join like a running club. Like there's an app called Sweat Pals, and like you can join clubs like or like different communities based on things that you like to do. Like there's like pickleball is in.
I've never played, but I want to.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
We play, like my roommates and I will go play with a group of people, but I haven't played in like a long time, but I want to get back into it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. But like back to the community thing, like a girl, like we met, or I think I'd met her prior, but you met her at the Two-Step In. Kylie, who started the Hot Girl Walk here.
Yeah.
I'm like, so this girl who is from my I think she's from my hometown. If not, she went to high school there. She started this thing in Dallas called Hot Girl Walk. And like I think it's every Wednesday, she would, before it got ginormous, she would post on TikTok because she like either didn't have a ton of friends in the area and wanted to walk but feel safe.
Yeah.
So she started the Hot Girl Walk, and like now it's a thing, and it gets like sponsorships and it was like on the news, and it's like super cool. So like there are ways to start
Facebook groups if you like are looking for like a certain hobby, like I don't know, maybe you're really into archery, like archery of North Texas, like
I love Katniss Everdeen.
I don't know why I picked archery. Maybe
I know you're picking some interesting examples.
I had an idea because I don't really have any hobbies, is to like go through the alphabet and just like try to knock out like every hobby that like comes to mind and figure out which one I like the best.
I don't know. I don't think I have like a hobby.
I think I'll probably get into running.
Emma
or
crochets,
like, jogging,
and like she'll crochet me a hat. Like she crocheted me a hat.
I love that.
And
you know what I want to get into? I saw this on TikTok and I really was like, this is so cool. Like handbag restoration.
Okay.
Like they like go thrifting and they'll like find like a vintage leather like Coach bag and they'll like bring it back to life.
I see those with rugs when they clean off the real dirty rugs.
I like that. It's really satisfying.
In not letting your car registration go overdue. Are you overdue?
I am overdue. I need to do that this week, actually.
I was overdue for 3 years, so I have no room to talk.
How did you not get like arrested?
I don't know. It's a mystery to this day.
In, I think, screen time, that's under like 3 hours. Mine is insane.
Mine's always, well, because all of my devices are paired together. It says that I average like 9 hours, but I'm on my laptop all day when I'm working.
Yeah, that is hard.
So
like, I make calls off my phone for work.
So I like it, but I can't like actually time that out.
Maybe like you can set up those like timers where like if you're scrolling on TikTok, then like if you hit like an hour, then it's like
it won't let you it won't let you open the app back up, like a parental control
I need
almost.
that. I'm like, I scroll TikTok like bloop 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 forever.
Oh, same. Jennifer actually for Christmas got me this like little remote that connects to your phone and you can scroll like on it.
Iconic.
And she's like, I like will fall asleep with this in my hand to TikTok. And I was like, okay, I think I need it in my life.
But you know what you could do with that? Set it up on a treadmill and like watch TikTok
yes.
while you're like walking.
Exactly. Like there's so many I'm like so excited to like hook it up.
There's so many different like things that you could implement when you like think about it.
Yeah. Do you want to share one last in and then I will?
One last in. I think like overall like honesty and vulnerability with your friends and like people that you're close with.
That's a good one. Because my in was going to be sharing gratitude every day, or acknowledging the gratitude that you have. Like I said, like the 5-minute journal, you write down what you're grateful for. I've been doing it with my coworkers for years now, where we go around every morning after our stand up and we say what we're grateful for, and I write it in that full focus planner. And sometimes there's silly little things like I'm grateful for the coffee that I got this morning, but sometimes like
some people can't get coffee,
right.
So
exactly.
grateful.
And be grateful for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like I'm grateful for the time I spent with family this weekend. Like it's like it seems like a silly exercise, because I used to be like, God, I'm like, why are we doing like but I also enjoy hearing what they're grateful for,
That
and
is true.
hearing like what's good in their life.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, like when I lived with Allison, why did I say it like that? I feel like I said it real like slow motion. When I lived with Allison, I used to go into her room and be like, what was your high and low of the day? And
I
she's
love
like,
that, the rose and the thorn.
yeah, and she's just like, Rheagan. I don't think she actually hated it, but she was like, I'm studying.
Oh, anytime I sit down at like a dinner or something, I'm like, I want to hear about everyone's day.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Tell me all the good, all the bad. So I think practicing that, even though it seems like if you're someone who's like, this is stupid, trust me, it really does kind of change.
Stupid to be grateful?
Exactly. But there are people out there that are like, you're gonna make me write this down, like, bruh. But it's once you get past that, it's very beneficial.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice on how to start the new year? Because we're about to wrap it up.
Yes.
We're gonna talk a little bit about the advice that we want to share and get out of your hair, because we have been talking for quite some time. But
yeah, I think my main advice, because I feel like I've also kind of like shifted my life like multiple times in my past and have done it successfully. So I think my main advice, if like you want to make a big change in your life, like you have to truly like live it every day. And I think also I would focus on how to set yourself up for success, not only on your best days, but your worst days as well. So implementing things that you can do if you're not feeling the best, or if you are having like a bad day. How can you
I love that. I was giggling to myself while you were talking, because in like big bolded, it's not bolded, but pink lettering, it says advice on resolution. Katie has something to say.
Well, I just get upset when I hear people like that are already kind of living like their life the way that they think that they should or whatever. You know, like if they go to the gym, whatever, then on January 1st they're like, oh, there's so many people in the gym. It's like,
shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Let people do their thing, because guess what? If history repeats itself, you'll be by yourself again come March.
I hope not, because I hope the people who make these resolutions will keep them. But yeah, that was just my thing, is just like, don't shit on other people if they like make a resolution, or like sometimes like I don't know, even like telling people if we're doing like 75 hard could be a little like awkward. Be like, you're not drinking for 75 days. Like, yeah, because
I'm challenging myself to do it.
So I mean, I don't
that.
think that anybody in my life would like make a comment.
No.
But just in general, like, be supportive for other people. If New Year's is what it takes for somebody to make a positive change in their life, like why shit on them for that?
Right. And everybody, I think, at one point in their life has attempted a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So like to be like blah, blah, blah about it is out.
That's so.
It's because I agree. I know that I can be a judgmental human being, not to your face, but definitely behind your back. And like sometimes people would, now being an older and being more mature, and like when someone's like, okay, I really want to do this, instead of being like, that's great, and then being like, what the fuck are they doing that? I'm like, you know what?
like, because I feel like past me, if you told me you were doing 75 hard, I'd be like, okay, weirdo, have fun not drinking. Like, what are you going to do on the weekends? Like, no, but now I'm like, bitch, do it. I'm holding you accountable. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
And I want you to hold me accountable.
And that's the beauty about like making changes in your life is like you kind of like going back into like living in like what you viewed yourself and like not relying on others like expectations for yourself. Like I could be a different person than I was last week, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
it's not my responsibility how you view me. Like I can completely change my life in a month, you know.
Oh, yeah. And I think I said, I keep referring to the last episode just because they're similar. I said in one of the things that I learned is you need people in your life that will hold you accountable.
Mhm.
Like, why would you want somebody in your life that just enables bad behavior?
Yeah.
And I know that can be a really hard line, like where you're like, how do you bring that up without them like getting
I think
upset
you have to
with
be
you?
like pretty close to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
But still having those people in your life.
Yeah.
And like when somebody maybe confronts you or vice versa, when you finally have the guts to confront them, it's kind of like a listen to that person because all they want is for you to be the best version of you. That's why I'm like, if like, I'm like, oh, Katie, I want to drink. And then you're like, no, you can't. I would be like, oh, she's right. Instead of being like, fuck you, I'm done. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the gist is even if you don't have hardcore goals for the year, like a specific thing, if it's something like we said earlier, drinking water. What was yours? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Well,
When it was like, I want to just incorporate healthy habits. I don't really have a defined goal. It was early. It was an hour ago, girl. It was a while. Anyway,
like making my bed, keeping my
yeah,
room
like
clean.
just tiny things like
Yeah.
that. That's still a resolution. Still try your best to hold up to it. And if you're someone who might be in the position where you're like, I want to try and do this, but no one supports me, I mean, obviously, if it's something healthy for you and not, something out there,
I'm gonna drink a bottle of vodka every day in 2024.
you're like, maybe that's not the right resolution. But I mean, okay, do you, boo? But like, if there's people in your life that are like raising that flag, I think it's also important to take a step back and maybe listen, because at the end of the day, everybody just wants you to be the best version of yourself, if that's who you choose to surround yourself with.
Period. Oof.
Good, right?
I don't like that.
Period. Period's out.
TikTok vernacular.
Period's out. It's okay. You could say what can you say instead of period though? We need to just like, emphasize the text.
Yeah. So true.
So true, besties. Besties in, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I say bestie a lot, so we'll leave that as undecided. But I think that wraps up the episode. If there's anything, say it now or forever hold your peace. Anything you want to get out, air anything out about this topic on the pod?
I don't think I have anything to add. I will say, like, if you are somebody looking to make a change in your life, definitely read that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Can't recommend it enough. And, we all start somewhere.
We do. And on that note, too, this is going live on January 3rd. So we are 3 days into the new year. But you don't have to start your New Year's resolution on the 1st. Sometimes they're different. They look different. So if you're like, oh, but the 1st already started, that's an excuse.
That is an excuse.
So, like, if you're someone who's like, oh, Rheagan and Katie doing 75 hard, maybe I want to try it. But let's say you've got some things lined up and planned in the next, couple weeks. Start it in February. Start it in March. Start it whenever you want.
Or even, like, you don't have to go balls to the wall, like, 75 hard. You could just make daily decisions. Like, maybe instead of, eating Chick-fil-A for lunch, like, I'm going to bring a salad from home. It's just, like, those small things that will line up. So if you want to challenge yourself, I say go for it, but don't hold too much weight on it if you like crash and burn, or like if you're not prepared enough for it.
Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. The whole point of, like, I think making goals is to better yourself. So if you know you're somebody that's like gonna fail the 75 hard challenge, like don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't set yourself up for failure. But if you want to challenge, like go for it. I think if you know, like you were mentioning, like if somebody's wanted to start on like February, like don't make an excuse. Like start January 1st, you know?
Mhm.
But you could make small changes.
Until then.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's good. Well, we'll get out of your hair. We'll stop talking whether you're listening in a AirPod, car, headphones. I don't know what you're listening to us in, but I just want to thank Katie so much for coming on the pod. Finally, besides the one episode of just us chit-chatting, this one will actually get aired. And I hope y'all also enjoyed her, because I have so much fun when people come on. It's a lot more fun instead of just talking to myself for 45 minutes.
I loved it. New Year's, I think, might be my favorite holiday.
Good, as it should be. But again, thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know your New Year's resolutions if you want to share. Don't feel obligated to. Follow the Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all the things. Merch might be coming soon. I'm just kidding. Troy and I was like, my dad has multiple like brands that he makes t-shirts for, and I didn't even think of asking him to help, just like for funsies, like obviously just like to give them out, not to sell them. We're not there yet, Rheagan, calm down. But that could be my New Year's
no negative
resolution goal.
self-talk.
That could be my goal.
Could be.
So yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Katie, for being here. Happy New Year, and make 2024 the best year you can. All right. Peace and love. Bye.